All right, so now we're going to do top. Is there anyone in chat that doesn't agree with this? I like Looper. I like banning people. Okay, I hate Looper. They need to never make this again. I don't think we really need to go into any detail. It is fucking awful. If you don't believe that it's fucking awful, just go do it. You'll probably come to the realization that, hey, it's pretty fucking awful. Pantocrator. I think Pantocrator is pretty good. I think it's kind of cool, man. There's a lot going on. There's just enough movement. Why don't you like it? You're like, there's no way you put that shit in A. Okay, well, explain. Why don't you like it? Adjusting. Okay, yeah. I mean, but that's like, yeah. You know what? Fuck it. I hate P1. You know what? Moving on. Party synergy. Okay. Holy shit. Okay. I think it's either an A or S. Oh, no. I think it's an A. You know what keeps it from an S? I think that the requirement for the mid tether is too bullshit. I think the mid tether is fucking garbage. I think it should have been a little bit, just a little bit more lenient. Okay, guys, you have to understand something here, right? Party synergy is already crazy hard. Like, there's so much shit to look for. And on top of all of that shit, they make the fucking close tether, like, extremely fucking precise. I think that for a second phase, it should have been just a little bit more lenient. I think it's really good, except for that. So that's what I think keeps it from an S. Okay, anyway, limitless energy. I don't think it's good. Do we think it's bad? I'll agree that it's C. But here's why I don't think it's F. Is because after you do this bullshit with party synergy and you get to this part, you're like, thank God. And your brain gets to relax for just a second. So I feel like that relaxing of the brain is needed. Okay, so that's why I don't think, like, basically, I don't think they should ever do it again, because I do want it to appear, because I want another spot for my brain to relax. So I don't think it's good, but I think that part of the fight is necessary for brain function. Final Omega, the transition. I think it's good. I think it's sick. You know, you're watching the transition and you also have to do the mechanics. And I think the things on the ground are cool. You like move out, then you move in. You know, you have to stack with the movement is really cool. I think it's an A. Okay, yeah. I guess that's true. No one was watching anything but the ground. Okay, all right. It's okay. So you caught me on a lie. But theoretically, if you were good at the game, you would, you know what? Actually, you know what? Let's see what the fuck they do. Yo, that's actually a really cool transition. Holy shit. Dude, that's fucking sick. Wow, that's really cool, actually. Dude, that's actually cool. I've never seen it before. No, I'm serious. I've never seen it before. I think I'm going to leave it at A. Final Omega. Oh, that's the... Yeah, whatever. Okay, so we would have to rate it with Hello World? So we have to rethink this, right? So we have to include Hello World in it. I know Hello World is, like, easy. Nah, I don't think it's S tier. And you know why? Some people don't like it because it's, like, the same thing over and over again, which I understand. But I actually really do like it. I really like that they combine Patch with Hello World. However, the thing that's keeping it from an S for me is the fact that Hello World is actually harder in the Savage version. I think if you were to put it anywhere below a B, I think you would probably be wrong. Well, okay. Well, you know what I mean. Like, not wrong, but I think maybe there was other factors that contributed to why you didn't like it. But I did enjoy Hello World, and I also enjoyed the transition. I think the Hello World is a really cool mechanic. I like the towers. I like the rot. So, I don't know. I think it's an A. I think it's good. Oh, you know what? Nah, fuck this. Nah, this is a B. You know why? Because of that fucking auto attack bug. That auto attack bug, it knocked it down. I remember that. I remember our white mage dying to that like 4 times. I remember being frustrated. No, that's a B. Yeah, so for those of you that weren't around for top on the week 1, there was a bugged auto attack on Hello World where the boss would sometimes auto attack a random party member before you could target the boss. Basically, Omega would get threat on a random party member, and it was believed it was proximity based, but it was disproven on one of my streams because the white mage of the group stood in the middle expecting an auto attack, but he instead auto attacked the ninja, which was like really far out, and he killed him. You know what? Also, the buff cap is also bad too. So you know what? That knocks it down again because fuck the buff cap. It just wasn't tested. Yeah, so it's bad. So you know what? Hello World is actually bad. Wow, who would have thought? Who would have thought that Hello World was bad because of bugs? So it's actually bad. Yep, okay. Wasn't it fixed day 3 or 4? No, absolutely not. It wasn't fixed until like way later. It wasn't fixed until after I cleared. There were people that were saying I was wrong. There are people telling me to get good. They're just a bunch of stupid people like quit crying and all that shit. And then they end up fixing them. So again, you would think you'd hate being wrong all the time, but actually the more I'm right, the more cocky and confident and arrogant that I become. Okay, monitors. You know monitors? Dude, monitors is fucking sick. I think monitors is S, honestly. I do. I think that the boss has a monitor. You have 3 people that have a monitor. I think it's really good. I think it's either an A or an S. It depends. I think it's a really, really good mechanic. I really like monitors. You can even recover on certain parts, and I think that makes it a really, really cool mechanic. I think monitors is definitely harder than Hello World. To my knowledge, there wasn't any bugs. So I think the thing that makes it incredible for me, there's 2 things. One, it's like a content respect check. And also, if you don't, like if you fuck up, if your damage is high enough, you can salvage it. So I think that being both of that is really cool. I think it's S tier, man. I really do. I like it a lot. It's a very quick mechanic. It's a choke check, skill check, DPS check. It tests you to burst properly. You can also recover if you fuck up, but you need to respect it. I think it's a really good mechanic. I can see the argument for putting it A. I think a B is a little too low, but you know, like I said, man, this isn't like official or anything. Me personally, I'm a big fan. Okay, Final Omega. Definitely not A. Was anything bad about it? I think it's like a B, man. I don't think it's necessarily bad, but it's definitely not A. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. It's not like my favorite phase or anything. I just think it's B. Okay, now, Delta. We have to ask ourselves this question. Are we gonna rate this by our standards or Square Enix standards? If we are rating it by Square Enix standards, it is an F 100%. Okay, and let me explain to you why it is an F 100%. Because they specifically stated that they wanted to design a fight where you did not need third party. And they have absolutely failed beyond belief in that regard. So if we rate it by Square Enix's standards, this entire fucking shit show is an F. However, I think that Square Enix says silly things sometimes. And I think that Delta is an insanely awesome mechanic. Everybody has a job. You have things to bait. You have 4 different tethers. You have a guy in the middle. I think it is bad tier list, bad chat history. I think that Delta is an incredible mechanic. I think it's really awesome. Do I like the Dynamis mechanic? I do not like the Dynamis mechanic. If you don't like the Dynamis mechanic, you're probably going to put it like down here. I'm going to rate it based on the non-Dynamis part. And I think that if you're going to rate it based on SC, it would have to go here because they failed beyond belief of designing a fight where you don't need third party. I think they have failed miserable on that. So it depends on how you're rating it. But me, I'm just going to go with S because the Delta mechanic I think is insanely good. I think it's crazy good. Sigma is very, very weird for me because I think that the actual Sigma mechanic is also an S. Having to stretch your tether either far or close, on top of baiting the 2 fists, on top of going to the female, while none of that shit is like too crazy hard, you also have the towers at the end that you have to get knocked into, and I think that's really cool. And not only do you have to get knocked into those towers, but you have to be spread properly. I think that is insane. However, I think that Sigma should never fucking happen again. And I'm going to explain why I think it should never happen again. 1, because I don't like the requirement on the tether. I think the requirement on the tether is complete bullshit. I think it is way too cheap. You have to be at the complete absolute fucking edge. I think that the far tether could have been just a little bit, just a smidge more lenient. But the biggest issue with this is the auto attack at the very end. That is a game-breaking auto attack that should have never been in there in the first place. And I think that it completely ruins the entire fucking mechanic. How stupid could they possibly fucking be? And I remember when people were telling me, nah, just adjust your strat, dog. It's not a bug. It's supposed to be there. Really? Really? That's crazy then, because, it seems like they removed it. Yet again, I was right. Man, that sucks. Doesn't matter how good you are at the game, you can still be a fucking idiot. Of course it was a bug. Of course it was a bug. They just literally forgot. They literally forgot that the boss had a magical auto attack and the Hello World, Far World jumps, they all gave a 5-second magic vuln. If they would have tested properly, they would have realized that the second jump should have only given you a 3-second vuln. The mechanic is already hard enough, and to die to a bugged auto attack was absolutely infuriating, and anybody that thinks differently is literally stupid. You're literally an idiot. So no, F tier, never happen again. Fuck off. Omega. I think it was good. I didn't think it was fantastic. I think it's a low A. It's either a low A or a high B. And the reason why I think so is because I think the dodges are really cool. I think that's what saves it. The dodges are top tier, and then the stuff that follows after is not as good, but it's still decent. So I think it's an A. I think a majority of us can agree this is S tier. This is my favorite part of the fight. You got the music. You got the transition. You got the beginning of the fight where you got to get out of the wall. That was a first. For some reason, I just thought that was so cool, you know? The Exaflares are really cool. I think they're some of the best Exaflares in the game. I think that the boss hits ridiculously fucking hard. I think that Wave Cannon is one of the scariest things that this game has to offer. I also think that the LB spam is a massive, insane improvement over Uwu. The way that you use the limit breaks in that phase is really, really cool because it doesn't feel like it, well, okay, I mean, feeling is a very personal, whatever, you're going to have bias, whatever. But to me, it doesn't take away from the fight. It only adds to the intensity of the fight. It only adds to the epicness of the fight. I think that using the LBs in that way, it makes the fight like snowball, makes it more intense, right? As the fight progresses and the mechanics go out, the party is using literally everything they can to deal with the mechanic, even the limit break. And I think that really shows like Omega's power, like you need that many limit breaks to fucking kill it. Like I think that's so cool, man. It doesn't take away from the fight, at least for me. I think the coolness starts to plateau heavily on the second magic number. I feel like they just ran out of shit to do, which that's fine. But it starts to plateau there. Like that's where it stops being cool. What I think of the DPS check? It was just slightly annoying. It's not necessarily the DPS check that's annoying. I think it's just the game in general. I don't like direct hit, and I think that you can have extremely bad crit RNG. It doesn't happen very often, but you can get fucked. But overall, I think Alpha Omega is insanely awesome. It is such an epic phase. It's one of the most epic of all of them. Top is a pretty miserable fight in a lot of aspects, in my opinion, but P6 is one of the best phases, is one of the best ultimate phases they've ever made, in my opinion. I think it's super good. So that's the tier list.
Hello.
Is this chat? Okay, listen up. Lamau! You idiots! You idiots! No, I'm kidding. And that's it for the tier list. And if you don't agree, then you're dumb. And that's it. Tier list over.